Hello friends and welcome back for episode 46 of our Rogue Legacy Let's Play. You may be wondering, if you watched the last episode, what's up with the fact that I am not the spelunker character that you expected me to be when we got here? Well, I have to say, I'm the scummest of the scum, and I made a vital mistake in not pressing the record button and went and did about 15 minutes of footage, and the spelunker run went terribly, and then I had another, some sort of a spellcaster, which was, the run was actually going pretty well, and I decided when I realized I was not actually recording, I don't know what happened, whether I just didn't hit the button, I missed the button, I hit the wrong button, I don't know, something stupid happened, and I noticed my fraps in my corner was yellow instead of red, and I was like, alright, time to go spike myself onto a wall for a while. And this is my new run now. So now we're Lady Antoinette, a spell sword with strength of 178, magic 247, and armor of 246. And we've got a flame wall, which is a pretty nice bonus for me. So if you'll remember where we are, we've actually finished off everything in the manor. It's totally done. There's nothing left. We never have to come back to the screen again. Except for to brag, I guess. And then in the armor section, well, the blacksmith's actually got everything also unlocked, so the only time we have to talk to him is when we want to switch between things. So I'm trying a sort of an experimental dark armor run this time, and this is technically, I guess, going to be the first of the challenge runs episodes. Although we still have a few more runes to unlock, there's so few that I figured why bother classifying this as something else. You know, my main objective was to, of course, unlock all the armor and then also unlock all the attributes. We've done that, so let's just move on to phase 3, I guess? Well, I mean, technically, this is runes are phase 3, and then challenge runs are phase 4, but we'll just combine 3 and 4 together and call it a day. So I do actually have 37,000 gold left over from that run that I had to abort due to my gross negligence and poor finger-pressing skills. So I will actually just throw those into the first runes that I come across. And where was I? So I had 2 of those, right? I think I had 2 grace runes and 3 extra bounty runes. So let us just run into the castle and give it a try. I think having a bunch of mana and the ability to regain mana by hitting stuff, plus the flame wall, as long as I remember to use it liberally and, you know, remember to record the videos that I intend to create, then we won't be in a good position. So the first time that I've ever done something that dumb, I think. I've made a lot of videos in my day now, over 1,000 in fact, and have never run into this problem before where I've just, like, simply forgotten or mistakenly not hit the record button. Anyway, let's not lampshade anymore. I think you get the point. This dude is going to be a force to be reckoned with, I have a feeling. As long as I don't run through my mana instantaneously, which I very well may, but it looks like I can recoup it fairly quickly as well. So we're going to be on the lookout for lots of MP potions. We're going to be on the lookout for rooms where it is beneficial for me to hit as opposed to spell. And we're going to also be looking for rooms that are just jam-packed with enemies that I can just run through and just casually, you know, demolish everything alive in it. It's a pretty exciting day for me. I think this is going to be a fun time. I will make the transition over to using more spellcasters and, of course, playing as more experimental classes. But there is one caveat, of course, that I kind of neglected to mention and or forgot or didn't think about properly when I was coming up with the idea of doing challenge runs, and that's that when you guys suggest runs, you have to keep in mind that I cannot necessarily pick the class of my character, which seems like a bit of a squandered opportunity. Honestly, I think it would have been perfect once you finish out all of the stat points to just give you free reign to choose whatever stat or class you'd rather play as for that run, instead of just having the option to re-roll them. Or maybe that could have been like level 2 of whatever class it was that allows you to re-roll them in the first place, and level 2 could have cost like 200,000 or some stupid thing, so you would have had to basically get all the other things first anyway. I think that would have worked out pretty nicely, and then we could have done challenge runs any way we choose. For example, multiple spelunker runs in one go could have been cool, but, you know, we're not going to be able to do that. So what I was trying to say earlier is when you're naming challenge runs for me to do in the comments, which hopefully you guys will want to do, just keep in mind I'll probably have to go through like 2 or 3 of them per episode, unless I do an episode that's specifically just something, you know, I want to tackle or figure out or, you know, debunk. Which, you know, I might mix that up as well if there's something that comes to mind. One of those things happens to be the, you know, having the proper equipment to simply try and take advantage of spikes, and perhaps get through an entire run where I only run into spikes and get gold from it. That could be kind of interesting. But, you know, I think it was the right choice to go ahead and start doing challenge runs on this episode because, you know, why belabor it anymore? You know, we've gotten everything we really need. At this point, I would just be delaying the inevitable. We're gonna get the amount of gold we need for those runes anyway, and it's really not necessary to have them to even do most of the runs. I'm sure there are a few that I'm gonna need them for, but for the most part, what's there is already the majority of stuff I needed. And you could say the same about the armor, but, you know, I did want to at least have it all. And you could, well, I mean, you could ostensibly say the same about the stat points even, but I think that is at least, you could make an argument in the contrary, though. Whereas with the armor stuff and the rune stuff, like, you really couldn't. So we're at 23,000 gold already with a spellcaster of a level 507, which, you know, I can't get too excited about considering I put 2 grace runes on and I have a flame wall. So, you know, I'm in a good position no matter how you cut it. And that does give me back quite a bit of MP, so I guess this is going to work out pretty well for us. There isn't any way for me to get up into that area, though, so I guess I'll just have to forget about that, right? I don't have any teleport spells or anything like that. Oh, by the way, I have been using the giant flame instead of the mini flame. I think that is just more helpful. Alright, let's... Okay, we got spike balls all over. Oh, what's in here? Oh, a Zombishnu or something. Yeah, okay, I actually remembered the title of that character or that enemy without looking at the top. And then I looked to confirm right afterward, and I was actually right. Unbelievable, I've learned things by playing hours and hours and hours of Rogue Legacy. Who would have thunk? Certainly not me. Alright, we got a take no damage run here. Let's see if I can get through this. Oh, no, I cannot. I've taken damage. Let us retreat. I forgot that I don't have fly anymore. The way this armor is set up, it kind of confused me. I also have dash runes again, which is a thing I should probably try and remember. You know, you get into the habit of knowing what the buttons do as that character for the longest time, and then all of a sudden things change, and it's like, oh, I don't know about, you know, what buttons I should be thinking about at any given moment, so I will try and keep that in mind. Alright, we got statues, we got flames. I'm not afraid of flames. Alright, let's just flame wall our way through here. Whoa. You guys don't seem so threatening when you can't actually hit me. Oh, again, thinking I could fly. You know, I believe I can fly, I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. But sometimes in Rogue Legacy, it just doesn't work out that way. I believe I can snore. Oh, singing silly songs is silly. Alright, let's go to the left. Okay, I've already been there. So let's just... Oh, maybe I could actually deal with this guy now. I still don't have an efficient way, though, of handling when the all the stuff drops on the spikes. That's just sort of like, take a bunch of damage, try and pick stuff up. If you get out of it, cool. If you don't get out of it, cool. It doesn't seem possible to be able to grab stuff off the spikes and not take a hit. Like, I was thinking maybe there was enough distance that you could space, like, the hitbox of the coin and the feet of your character and just not take damage, but it seems like you probably can't do that. Alright, what's going on around here? Nothing much. To our right. Dead end and a room. Alright, I'm gonna go this way first. Dash, dash, dash. Okay, this looks like there's some more action here. Actually, not a bad run. 4,400 or 44,000. Certainly not what I expected. And I just picked up a chicken leg, which I'm pretty grateful for. Starting to run through MP pretty quickly, so I'm gonna have to start smacking stuff in a moment. Oh wow, I can get MP from hitting furniture? What was that about? It didn't seem like I got it from all furniture, just some. And we're over 50k, so actually, you know, not a bad run. Nin Pojo, not a big deal. Haven't been really ever too afraid of them. Should definitely patch in some new enemies or something, or some new challenges or something like that. Make a challenge run mode like in Binding of Isaac, where you have to abide by certain rules and clear out the castle or do some sort of pre-configured, like preordained setting. You know, can defeat Alexander with a barbarian with this much health. And all the enemies are always going to be in the same positions every time. It would let them configure, you know, specially tailored runs that could challenge your skills and dexterity in a way that sometimes these sorts of runs wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to play it by ear then, because if this run ends up going for much longer, well, I guess it will just be mostly this for this episode, which I have no problem doing. I mean, I'm not worried about how things turn out. You know, this whole series is kind of play it by ear style, so hopefully as long as you guys don't mind, as long as I can still babble about some silly junk, I think we'll all be happy. Alright, excuse me, balls. I'm just going to go right between you and up and out of this room, and out of the next one, in fact. Where are we on our map so far? Let's go all the way back to the boss room and below. I mean, the 2 grace runes, again, I was about to brag that I was like, okay, well, it seems like we can handle this area, so the rest of the castle should be simple. But, you know, yes, but also, you know, we made it easier on ourselves, so really shouldn't be talking like that. So what's below us here? Okay, a little bit more flame stuff to hit with. Oh, I've run out of mana. I've run out. Oh, wow, I can get it back really fast, though. That was like 1 kill, I'm back to full. That's insane. Alright, this guy is kind of OP. I hear you now. I understand. Not that I ever didn't believe you, I just didn't really have the setup to properly test that claim. In my opinion, anyway. You might have said I did. What do I do about this? I don't have Foos. That makes things a lot more difficult. Alright, let's see how much more we've got left in us. Kinda like to just do this run again if I can. 70,000 gold with a spell sword. And out of here, I think that means we've finished out the darkness. Right? Any other rooms? I'm just double checking the map here. It looks like we're good to go. So we'll make our way back up to the castle then. And there is a bunch of stuff to see over on the right, so we'll proceed in that direction. Keep looking in the corner of my screen like, am I still recording? Yeah, okay, we're good. Well, that would have been anticlimactic if I decided to just die. Oh, well, I picked up one of those. If I just decided to die by just, like, landing on some spikes or getting hit by a turret, I'm pretty silly. Alright, these guys should all be, like, easy one-shot. Anything else? See, now I can actually use this to my advantage, and sometimes I can even take these guys out before I even get near them, like in striking range. Alright, that was kind of dumb. I thought I was done with all the blood balls. And I'm done. I'm dead. I'm gonna split this episode, I guess, right down the middle. Why not? Lady Antoinette, you've proven that spell users can be efficient. Alright. Not that I didn't believe you again. Barbarian, Archmage... Yeah, okay. Well, let's do all of the same configuration then. 73,000. Oh, and your big old guy. Okay, let's go to a rune world here. It's like a raspberry world, blueberry world, raspberry world for all your raspberry needs. All right, so there's really just the one left, and I might be able to actually take care of it in this next. Oh, I'll definitely be able to take care of it in the next run. So by the end of this episode, we will have all of this stuff done. What happens if you put one up and one down on these? By the way, that's kind of a strange thing to do. Maybe that'll be an episode I do where I'll do 2 curse runes and 2 grace runes and see if that just puts us back at the beginning. Probably would, right? Let's just do one grace rune instead of the 2. I felt like that was good enough handicap. Looks so badass with that armor, too. I probably didn't need the cape, either. I could have just swapped it out for the dark cape to go along with it and keep the guy thematically good. Oh, right, I forgot. I switched spells with this class, don't I? Well, you know, that's pretty useful as well. Let's just keep it on Flame Wall, though. Although I don't have the boon of having Flame Wall be the giant version, which I quite appreciated. But it does look like I could basically just keep it on indefinitely at this point, and we'll still be fine. As long as I remember to stand in such a position as everything gets hit. Oh yeah, and I can dash. Let's do some of that. I'll just start using Flame Wall instead of Sword. That's how you know you're getting lazy. But I still do have to worry about getting my MP back a little bit, right? Because although I do have a couple of Siphon runes, or Siphon abilities on my armor, so that's going to help. And actually, I probably have nothing to worry about. But I was just going to say that if I don't have some of the abilities I had in the last run, you know, the class ability, rather, of being able to hit stuff and get back my mana, maybe that would be an issue, but, you know, maybe not. and we're already at 13,000 gold, so basically this run is a foregone conclusion. We will be successful to the degree that we need to be to accomplish our final goal. Whoa, I like how when I landed on those spikes, it sounded like the record skipped in the music. Like, denoting that, okay, yeah, you screwed up. Everybody stop. Hammer time. That's not the hammer time music, but, you know, it's a similar dance music of the era. Remember those commercials that used to play all the time? Oh, I need to be careful in this room. That were, like, the best of whatever, and they would just play this, like, weird medley of all kinds of, like, hit dance songs from whatever era it was. I mean, it would be hard to forget if you were alive during that era when those things were taking place. But if you were one of the people who were graced with the privilege of hearing those things, I don't know about you guys, but I always associated whatever the medley of those songs, like the order, I would always hear that whenever I'd hear the real song, and I'd expect it to change over to the next song in the silly CD medley. But it never would, because, you know, real songs exist on their own, actually, I come to find out. So I just thought it was kind of strange, like, how quickly you could program yourself to hear a pattern of things, and I don't know if they edit those things carefully to try and maximize the ability to, like, addict somebody's ear to hearing it a certain way, if that makes sense. I would love to hear from anybody who's, like, worked in the era or the industry that's actually done editing for those types of TV commercials. Like, do you try to maximize those edits for those reasons? I would assume you would, just by virtue of, like, obviously you want to do the best you can at whatever situation it is for your employer, and the employer, I'm sure, would want to maximize their profits, ergo produce such a situation as to get the listener to hear, you know, whatever it is they want them to hear. But at the same time, it's like, where do you go to figure out how to, like, min-max people's abilities to sequence song patterns? I don't even know how to describe what it is I'm trying to say, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say regardless, because there is some sort of an intangible connection that sometimes people can have through words, that even if they're not the right words, you know, meaning can be conveyed. Pretty weird, right? Alright, smack that eye, and I guess that'll be the end of that rant abruptly. But no, it's just a thing that I've always sort of wondered about, like, what's up with those commercials. And I mean, they had those Now CDs, right? And they were Now for like 10,000 years. They've been Now, like, still. I think they're up to, like, Now 98 or something. When they get to Now 1,000, we'll talk again. Alright, so this run is all of a sudden starting to turn a little grim. Because I started to get a little off on too far of a tangent. I think I stopped paying attention to the game, which is a problem I have to not have. Oh, geez, this is a death for me. Okay. Sir Wizerl V was slain by a Plonky. Well, I should still have enough gold to accomplish what I needed to accomplish. So who are we going to pick next? I guess we'll go with this Archmage. You don't even need to show me the manor anymore, dude. We're good. Alright, so we just got the few down at the bottom. Bam, bam, bam. 100% complete. We have destroyed all of Rogue Legacy. Rah, rah. I'll just put the flame wall back. If it is in my spell select menu, it is not. I can only toggle between those three, evidently. Okay, well, I'm done. Let's just change our cape out, because I said before that I want to just do all dark. Mostly because it looks super awesome, and also I'm a lady with a huge white beard. Lady Sonya, the 6, has a huge white beard, and that's going to make her spellcasting way better, I guess. So gold now has absolutely no benefit. There is no reason for me to collect gold, other than just to gauge how well a run went, I suppose. And out of these groups, I guess I'll just use the spike balls. Seems like the best, most viable option here. That should be able to give me a leg up in similar fashion to the way the flame wall worked. Is that even the proper title of that spell? I probably should have paid attention to that. Now, if I could primarily just use spike balls all the time, maybe I won't even have to really fight stuff. I could just sort of run through all the rooms and pick up all the stuff that's left over. I'm okay with that. So now the main thrust of where this series is gonna go is, well, where are we at as far as motivation in challenge runs is really all it's gonna be. Like, how many more challenge runs do we want to do? Gold is no longer a factor. So, I mean, it's really just going to be about how long we want to keep doing it. Whatever weird permutations we can come up with that we want to test out. I wonder, though, if having gold being off the table is going to, like, it's going to probably sap my motivation. I felt like the second I realized, like, there's nothing to buy anymore, I felt like my motivation was already starting to drop. It's a little sad. But if it ever gets to such an extent that my motivation is not where it needs to be to want to play Rogue Legacy, then we will either start over or we will move on to something else. And like I've said in the past, we will be transitioning over to other series or series-es. Just series, right? Multiple series. That's when you have the helpful, handy hint guide character on the Apple iPhone, correct? 4S or higher, of course. You have multiple series. It doesn't sound so weird when you say it like that. But yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. With your guys' help, we'll come up with some creative solutions, and maybe I can even just, like, reset my save and keep this save also, and we can, like, toggle back and forth, sort of like what I'm going to do with Spelunky. Because I want to have one for streaming and one for whatever else. Like, I guess my constant run default save. I wish they had, like, a save slot system, like, mandatorily built into Steam. That way, it wouldn't even be necessary to have the game support that feature. It could just be about, like, alright, so you start up the thing, it could have, like, a front loader, right? And then when you start up the game, it asks you, so what save slot do you want to use? Sort of like a save state in an emulator. And from there, it would just keep multiple folders with whatever the save configuration files are in the actual Steam folder. That would be super easy to implement, too. And they could even reverse engineer it into old games, provided they have a few minutes to make sure that they have, you know, the proper files in the proper places. But being able to go through a dozen games in just a short amount of time and re-engineer that shouldn't be all that difficult, I would imagine. Although, you know, I'm kind of talking out my butt here because I'm not a Steam Steam engineer, Steam programmer, developer, I think is the word I'm looking for. So it's entirely within the realm of theory for me. Anyway, I think it is possible. But let's keep going down into the Forbidden Zone, aka the Dark World. Oh, okay, well, I'll just hit some flames there. And maybe, I don't know, the other option is I guess I could make episodes a little bit shorter. That would actually serve me a little bit better as well, because I wouldn't feel like I'm abandoning the series. But I could still take things in a little bit more of a bite-sized chunk, and it would not be quite as demanding on, you know, how things are going. I think it might actually make a lot of sense to do that now that I think about it, because then I wouldn't have to worry about splitting up the episodes as much. I could still keep things fresh, I could still have a new thing coming out all the time. And if you guys are still enjoying it, there's no reason to stop, so, I mean, it's all just about balancing where I want to be between testing stuff and motivation. And I guess it's going to come to challenge as well. I'm going to want to push myself to see how good I can get my play to be. I think I just got some random HP and MP at the end there. Probably just a spike ball dying. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Gotta remember to keep using those. This would be a pretty foreboding place for the enemies to be once I start unleashing all these. They're like flying caltrops, I guess, is the closest thing to call them. Oh, can I? Oh, I can't do that. Wait, I can axe them through the wall, though. And the axes actually do a whole pile of damage now. I'm okay with that. The problem, though, is when I unleash these spike balls, they're going to start floating around in this tunnel with me, and I've had this happen before. If I can, I'd want to time it in a way that creates a situation where the spike ball does not come into the same zone as me. And I guess this is still an element of progression that won't ever end, is that I'm always going to be looking for more of these chests to get stuff like this out of, so I just got another +1 to damage. I'd really love it if there was a little connecting tunnel that could take me through all of these passages and get all this gold, but I guess they're not going to give me that. I'm told also that the Hokage can teleport, so if that's the case, maybe I should take like a character like the Hokage and try and teleport into some of those nooks and crannies and see what I can do with that. Nooks and crannies and crooks and grannies. It's the worst. Can you believe that there are people that are so crooked that they would pickpocket an old lady? That's so messed up. I don't know, I just, when it said nooks and crannies and crooks and grannies, it just made me think of that. Like, there's always these stories about like somebody on the subway getting mugged and it's like some old woman got knocked down and her purse got... It's like, what kind of low-life scumbag do you have to be? Like, that's true scumology over there. Everything we talk about when we say scum, that's all, like, colloquial terms. That's the actual world of Scum, which is also the sequel to World of Goo, as it turns out. The World of Scum. I would play it. You know, we've already traversed all the goo, and why not some Scum? Why not Zoidberg? Did you know, I think this is a fun fact, right, that they never actually say why not Zoidberg in the actual Futurama series? It's just, it became a meme for some reason and just took off. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. And I'm not usually one to just do the usual, like, that's what I've heard, and, you know, you check on me. I usually like to be a little more skeptical than that, but I think I might have checked at the time. Again, this is totally not skeptical behavior, but I feel like I probably checked. Although, you know, checking is sort of a silly thing to say because it's not like I'm going to go and watch every episode of Futurama to see if they ever said this one line. Although I think I actually have watched every episode of Futurama, but not with that critical lens in place. It's a pretty freaking funny show. It's a pretty lame idea that they're ending it, though. I don't know what's up with that. Is it not funny anymore? Is that... Oh, right, I don't have the cloak anymore, so I have to actually jump my way out of this. I mean, The Simpsons haven't been funny in a while, in my opinion, and I know that's just my opinion. You guys feel free to disagree. But I was a fan of The Simpsons for sure, and it's been a few seasons since it's been particularly funny. I feel like they've been really stretching for all their jokes now. Alright, so there's really no reason to worry about what's going to go on in what I pick. It's just going to be about what kind of runs you want me to have. So maybe what I'll do is, if I can... Oh, I can't even back out, can I? I was just going to back out to the menu and say, like, you pick who I pick next time, but I guess I have to pick somebody, so I'll just pick the dragon, because I never picked the dragon. And people always say, I never unlocked him anyway. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that rant on The Simpsons. I don't find it particularly funny anymore. I think Futurama picked up the reins for certain on that. And it's a shame that it's ending, but I don't know, I guess I haven't watched the last couple of seasons, perhaps? Oh, wow, look at the dragon with all black armor. That's pretty cool. And my fireballs should be pretty powerful at this point. But anyway, so we'll leave things at this then. You guys can feel free to suggest challenge runs. You guys can vote up each other's, whichever you think are the most interesting ideas. I will take those into consideration. And then we will approach the show format as the need be, or as the need tends to be. I don't even know how to say that in the way that I was trying to say that. As need be. There you go. But, yeah, we'll look through the comments, we'll go through and pick the best ones. We will appropriate those to the next few runs and see how it goes. Again, I'm not sure if I'm just going to be doing, like, one run per go or just, you know, a couple, 2 or 3. But you can't predict what class you're going to be, you know, so it makes things really tricky. Maybe when I die, is there a way for me to just stay... I could just stay at the menu, I guess, and then we'll pick a character next time, but then you can't see what class it's going to be. Ah, that's frustrating. There's no way to see the class, then let you guys pick. And I don't know, what if I just, like, Alt F4 when I'm on the character class selection screen? I don't really want to do that. It might, like, corrupt my save or something. Anyway, this has gone on too long, so thank you very much for hanging out. As always, be sure to leave any support you can. Comments are always appreciated, and likes are always appreciated as well if you think I deserve them. Series does not have to end anytime soon, provided you guys are still enjoying it, and you make that abundantly clear. I will try to prioritize still doing plenty of Rogue Legacy if that's the way it's going to go, but, you know, there will be new series moving in, and one has already started. You may have noticed my Spelunky episode has already gone up, and there will be more of those as well. And I might even do another one, provided I don't just completely overwhelm myself with categories of different games to record. It is a thing I worry about. I don't want to burn out either, so I got to find a nice balance between it, because Indie Impressions is obviously not going anywhere. Rogue Legacy is sort of occupying the daily Let's Play slot, and then we'll sort of rotate that around, but I could maybe handle a second daily one, but not for long. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out what's right for me, and hopefully you guys can be supportive of whatever that decision is. And we'll just keep going from there. So thanks again, guys. I will talk to you real soon, and I hope you have a lovely night. Later.